Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. This week we're doing a yin yoga class that will be a very deep stretch. I'll ask that you have 2 blocks handy, and we'll begin seated in star pose. So you'll need to place 1 block in between the heels. Knees are bent at about a 90-degree angle, and you're going to tilt your pelvis forward as you fold all the way down. So you might want to have an extra block or 2 underneath the forehead or the chest for more support. If you're folding all the way down like I am here, you'll want to place your elbows in the soles of the feet along the block. So if you happen to be new to the practice of yin yoga, we do hold these types of passive poses for a few minutes, depending on what we're doing. It's important that you don't go too far or past your edge. On a scale of intensity 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense, you want to stay at about a 4 or a 5. It should never ever be painful. Start to connect to your breath. Soften the jaw, the shoulders, the neck. Allow the quads to relax so that the knees can drop down a little bit closer towards the mat. And tune into the sensations in your body. Slowly start to walk the palms back in so that you can lift the chest. And we're going to move the block out of the way and come onto our hands and knees. We'll do a variation of lizard pose from here. So let's step the right foot forward to the outside edge of your right hand. And you can pad your left knee here. You're going to turn your right foot and the knee out at about a 45-degree angle. And instead of folding straight down, we're going to walk our palms over towards the left side of the mat and fold from there. So you're pressing your right knee over towards the right while leaning the chest over to the left. So there is a lot going on in this pose. Make sure that your left knee is comfortable. You should be feeling a deep stretch into the right side of your hip, and maybe also along the right side of your rib cage with a little bit of a side bend. This is another pose where you might want to have a block or two handy if you need support under the chest or underneath the forehead. This is one of the most intense poses that we'll be doing in our practice today. So notice the tendency to hold the breath or tighten up the shoulders. Remember that you can always come out if you need to. Otherwise, just try to relax in this pose. Let's walk the palms back in, recenter yourself, and ease out through the tabletop pose. We'll switch sides. This time the left foot steps forward. Left foot turns at a 45-degree angle, and you walk your palms over towards the right side of your mat, creating as much distance as you can between your left knee and your left shoulder. Use your props here again if you'd like. And try to get comfortable in the pose as we hold for about 2 minutes or so. Let's come out of the pose. And we're going to make our way into a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes will come together, knees will go as wide as you would like them to be. This is a deep stretch, so I'm going to bring my knees pretty far out to the sides, letting the hips drop towards the heels, walking the palms forward until the forehead comes down on the ground. If you find that your forehead is hovering off the mat, you can stack your palms or put a block underneath you for more support. Feel the nice stretch into the back body, from the crown of the head all the way down the spine and into the tailbone. Lengthening both sides of the rib cage. If you feel tension or pinching in the lower back, it usually just means that your knees are a little too wide and you'd be better off bringing them back in a little. Relax the lower body and find deep, soothing breaths in this pose. Take the next 1 or 2 breaths to walk the palms in and lift the chest. And we'll come to seated. Our next pose is a straddle fold, or sometimes called firefly. Have a few blocks for this one too, as you open up the legs really wide. Toes are pointing up. You can sit up on a block here, or even put a block underneath each knee if your hamstrings are very sensitive. We're tilting the pelvis forward and folding straight down the middle, hinging at the waist, melting the heart down. And this is probably the pose that we're going to hold for the longest amount of time. So don't try to go too far too fast. Because we are holding the pose, your body will naturally go deeper and deeper into the shape. So just find a relatively easy edge. I'm going to start with the block at the highest level. And every 10 breaths or so, I'm going to lower the block so that my forehead goes closer and closer towards the ground. You want to avoid contracting the belly here. Notice if the shoulders are lifting up towards the ears. Keep them pressing down. Holding in this pose for a few minutes. We're about halfway through the pose. Notice the quality of your breath, or if your mind has started to wander. See if you can come back to the sensations in your body, focusing on the slow inhales and exhales through the nose. Okay, let's come out of this pose. Walking the palms back in. And we're just going to bend the knees, bring your hands back behind you, and windshield wiper motion the knees, dropping them from side to side. We're going to come to seated, taking double pigeon, or some people call this square pose. You might want to have a block or two handy here. You're going to stack your right ankle over the top of the left knee, and then the right knee will be directly over the left ankle. There might be a gap here between the ankle and the knee. You can always put a block in between there. And some of you might stay exactly as you are, chest lifted up tall. But if you did want to go much deeper into this pose, you can start to walk your palms out in front of you and melt the chest down. So this is a very deep hip opener. You should be feeling it probably a little bit more into the right hip and right side of your waist, and maybe even the right side of your lower back. So remember not to go past your edge. We want to make sure that we're not causing harm or injury to the body. We're gently inviting it to open up a little bit more. And let's hold here for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Lifting back up. Be mindful of your lower back. And before we do the second side, let's just straighten the legs. Maybe shake them out a little bit. And so this time for double pigeon, you'll be stacking your left ankle over the top of the right knee. And then left knee will be over the right ankle. Keep both feet firmly flexed. And maybe stay here or walk the hands forward and fold once more. Try to direct all of your breath into that left hip and down into the lower back. Try not to crunch forward. Heart is still reaching. Create space between the ears and the shoulders by pressing the shoulders down and lengthening the head up. Walk the hands in, gently lift the chest. Unwrap the legs, any little movements that you need to do here. We're going to give our hips and lower body a bit of a break and focus a little more on the upper back and chest area, coming into supported fish. You will need 2 blocks. So the first block will roughly end up being in between the shoulder blades, and the second block will go underneath the head for support. You can start at the lowest level of the blocks, or you can lift them up if that's appropriate for your body. So gently lower yourself down onto them. You want to make sure that there's no pressure on the lower back, so that first block really does need to be underneath the upper back, in between the shoulder blades. If it's too low, it really will be uncomfortable. And then second block underneath the head, so that there's no strain on the neck. If you do what you'd like here with your legs and with your arms, so the legs can be straight or the knees can be bent with feet flat on the mat. You can open up the legs into a butterfly shape. Palms can rest on the belly or stay alongside the body, or even reaching up overhead. Just feel out what your body needs right now and what's the best option for you to do. And as we breathe in this pose, we want to feel a nice deep opening at the front of the chest, deep into the heart. So you want to feel the ribs expand from side to side, front to back. Softening into the belly and letting the body rest over the blocks, staying heavy. Start to tuck the chin in towards the chest to come off the first block, and then use your forearms to lift yourself up higher and move both props out of the way. We won't be needing them. Lay down flat on your back and we'll come into my favorite pose. This is called Bananasana, and you're making a banana shape with your body. So you'll need to lift your hips and shift them as far over towards the right as you can, and then your shoulders will go all the way over towards the left side of your mat, and your ankles will go over towards the left as well. So once you have that deep curve through the right side of your body, you're going to lift your arms up overhead, maybe holding on to opposite elbows. And if you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can cross your right ankle over your left. So when we do this stretch very deeply, really you'll start to feel it in the IT band along the right side of the leg, and even more intensely through the right side of your waist, all the way up into the right shoulder, and maybe some of you into the bicep as well. Gravity does all of the work for us here, very little effort required. See if you can just enjoy, relax, and let yourself soften and open up into the pose. Second side, release the hold of the elbows, uncross the ankles, and then lift and shift your hips all the way to the left. Shoulders and ankles reach over towards the right. Keep your left hip pressing down in the mat. Reach your arms up, maybe hold on to the elbows, and cross your left ankle over your right if you'd like to go deeper into this stretch. You might find that one side is a little bit easier, maybe a little bit tighter. So adjust however you need to. There's no need to make the first experience the same as the second. We want to avoid pushing ourselves too far. And we want to make the yoga pose work for us. Release the pose and let's come into Shavasana. Straighten out the legs, take up space with the arms. Shrug the shoulders away from the ears so that the chest remains open. If your lower back feels sensitive, you're welcome to keep your knees bent, feet flat on the mat, or to put a block under each knee. Soften the mouth and the jaw. Relax the muscles around the eyes and in the forehead. Come back to whatever breath is natural to you as you let go completely and give your body the opportunity to integrate all the elements of your practice. I'd like to thank you for doing this class with me, and if you enjoyed it, I hope that you will subscribe to my channel. When you're ready to get out of this pose, please do so slowly. There is absolutely no rush, and stay here as long as you would like. Thank you again. Namaste.